right, welcome back. And now the editor, 21st Century Chronicle, Nuruddin Abdullah, is here with us to have a look at the stories making headway on our dailies this morning. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak.
Good morning. Thank you.
You know, as that report was playing, before we went on that quick timeout, you were reacting to that. What do you think, about the Hunters Council bill?
I think the whole thing further showcases our own seriousness. You have the police. The police, over the years, has a unit that deals, let's say, with traffic offenses. But you left it and created the road safety corps. Accidents do occur. Despite that, as time goes on, during Obasanjo, for instance, you created, because of vandalism of oil pipelines, telecommunication cables, as well as electricity cables, you created the civil defense. You arm them. The problems abated. Now you are trying to create the Peace Corps, and now the Hunters. That means that we're not serious. Proliferation of these agencies doesn't solve our problems. Over the years, what we should simply do is we have the police. Look at the police. What is the problem with it? Is it manpower? Is it training? Is it equipment? Is it funding? Or there's even a problem with the recruitment? Address it. You can't keep on creating agency whenever a problem comes up. No, other countries don't do that. Now, after the Hunters, what next? Maybe criminals will even gather and go to the National Assembly and say, okay, we are into this crime. Make us a government agency. We'll stop. It doesn't portray us as serious people. That's how I think.
Truly.
What about the former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, and others saying that state police should actually be created to tackle insecurity?
Yes, it's part of the what they call through federalism, what's called it. And if you look at it now, the funding of the police, I won't be wrong if I say that more than 60% of it is being carried out by the states. Every day, we have it in the news that Kaduna State is donating 1,000 vehicles to the police. Kogi is doing same, Lagos is doing same. Not only buying those vehicles, they are foiling them. These apart from the other logistical things they do. Almost all the states, they have security council, where the police, the military, the DSS, and what have you meet almost on a weekly basis. And if they tell you the money they spend on those things. But the whole thing has been centered at the federal level. And that makes it very humongous. Why can't you devolve it? Yes, there is this, the major fear is that of abuse. Even the federal police has been abused by the states and even the local governments. But the beauty is this. If, for instance, as a sitting governor, you abuse the police, you won't be there forever. Maximum, you serve for 8 years, and you become nobody. So your predecessor or whoever may use the same police, the state police, against you. But with all this now, everything is federal. How many, the police we have, they are not up to 500,000. 500,000 officers and men policing 206 million people. Look at the ratio. Poorly funded. Look at the budget. So I think what Obasanjo is saying, the fears, there are some safeguards. Yes, we look at the colonial NA police, that's why we draw our conclusions from. Yeah, there have been abuse and other people. Even now, the federal police has been abused by other levels of government.
Closely related to that is, like here on the Daily Trust newspaper, the president is saying that Nigeria's security agencies are underperforming. Sounds like an oversight function that was recently carried out, isn't it?
If they are underperforming, who is the commander-in-chief? Do the needful. Kick their bosses out. Replace them. Give them mandates. Give them schedule. Timeline. They will sit up. Imagine if, for instance, if let's say one of these banks, and you have in GEDs, you have GMs that are performing. Will you keep them? No. Already before the hiring, people have schedule. People have targets. We should look at governance as a business. If Nigeria is your company, would you behave that way? And I'm concerned that almost, including the president, they are telling us what the problem is. We didn't put them there to be telling us what the problem is. They should solve it. But almost all the public officials now are just explaining. If there is a blackout, they will be explaining why there is a blackout. No, that's not what we want to know. We don't want a blackout. If there is an attack, the DSS, the whatever, they will be telling you why the attack took place. No, stop the attacks.
Well, right now, the president has actually ordered the rescue of hostages with kidnappers. How feasible is that? Is that possible?
I think that is the language of journalists. Because almost all the statement, there is nothing to write. So you have to look, to slant it that way. Which order? So you mean in the attack took place on March 28th. Today is what? 21st, right?
Yes.
How many days now?
22nd.
22nd. We're talking about a good 3 weeks. So there was no order for the rescue of these people in the last 21 days until yesterday. Is that what you're telling me? Let's be serious. Order. It's just a journalistic way of getting meaning out of what the president said, because he virtually said nothing. The NSA was accusing our governor yesterday. It shouldn't have been that way. The NSA should have told us what we need to know. He should tell us that, yeah, a rescue is underway. The Nigerians should be able to expect something very fantastic. But he was trading blames, accusing a governor who is frustrated. Therefore, he has been spending billions on tackling insecurity. He doesn't own the police. They don't receive operational orders from him. They gave him all this intelligence at their monthly or weekly meetings. Are they saying that the intelligence are not active, that you don't act on them? So that is the frustration of the governor. And he is just voicing the frustration of all Nigerians. We are not security people. Look at when the terrorists released those footages, particularly the second footage. GPRS, a primary school with an Android, should be able to geo-map the location. But the security people are sitting in their offices, just giving us stories. Now he's saying that and the NSA is telling the governor that he's jeopardizing whatever, revealing secret. What is secret about that? What is the secret there? That these people are coming? That the security people stay back until the attack took place? Or was it that it's a secret now that it took them 2 hours to reach the point of the tragedy?
They also mentioned that the reason why they can't deploy technology, in fighting.
Okay, why? You can buy drones, Amazon, AliExpress, or even Jumia. If Nigeria is so backward that we can't deploy attack drones, at least we should be able to deploy reconnaissance ones. We are behaving as if we are in 16th or 15th century.
Well,
Is it the money that we don't have? And again, like the governor said, and I align with him, let the government do whatever it takes. If they are bringing angels or even devils to end this banditry, they should better do so. I don't care about sovereignty or what have you. In fact, Jonathan did it under Suki. They have to postpone the election for 6 weeks and took over 14 out of 70 local governments from the Boko Haram terrorists. They used mercenaries. So the problem now is we want an end to this embarrassing situation. If you are bringing the Germans, the identity, the demography of the people you will hire to end this thing does not matter. Or is it the IG that say, no, don't bring mercenaries, that we are going to end it off? No. IG visited the scene of that attack more than a week after with more than 100 armed men. Let's be serious. We are saying that we are the biggest country in Africa, blah, 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 blah. But people are laughing at us.
Okay, now, over the years, there's been a lot of reports of insufficient security personnel to, help safeguard the country. And a writer on the Guardian newspaper actually talks about Nigeria deploying 173 troops in Guinea-Bissau.
Do you know why they will be effective in Guinea-Bissau? Because of the leadership. We have gallant men. We have gallant men and women. We have gallant officers. We have gallant personnel. But the leadership. Dashi, you can't be faster than your principal. If you bring Zuckerberg, IT, right? And place him on that one dimwit as a leader, he won't perform. In fact, he will be frustrated. Peacekeeping operations, right from the Congo in the 50s, not to talk of Liberia and Sierra Leone, even Somalia. Our soldiers performed excellently because the leadership of those operations are not Nigerians. We did it in Darfur. I've been South Sudan recently. Our police officers have been deployed to Somalia, the Gambia, and they perform excellently because the leadership there is non-Nigerian. Their allowances were being paid as at when due. They are properly kitted. You understand? But the moment you bring them back here, they are placed under horrible leadership. People who are appointed because they know Mr. A and B, or the base of the part of the country they come from, or the religion they so profess. So that's it. So it's about the leadership. So when the president is talking about whatever, let's see when the service chiefs or whoever are kicked out. Let's run this country like a business. There are certain things that you cannot tolerate if this country is your private business, but you tolerate everything. You will be telling us stories. We don't want stories. We want action. Yesterday during that meeting, I wanted to see maybe, even if they are bodies, I said these are the people that attacked the train. The resistance areas, we have to neutralize them. And these are the 60 or 100 people that were arrested. Yeah, some were wounded as expected. We'll clap for them. But you can't do the NSA is trading blame. The governor, the thing is happening in his state. He has expended so much. He doesn't coordinate the operation of he only gives them money. They receive all their directives from Abuja. And he's telling them, you give me intelligence. Mr. Director DSS, or Mr. Police Owner, this is what you gave me. Why can't you act on it? Behind the scene, if you hear what they say, you won't believe it.
quite, tragic. Now, in light, of the insecurity we are facing as a nation, INEC is saying that despite this, the 2023 elections would hold. Nothing is going to stop it.
Yes. What other options do you have? Let's extend. Are you people saying that we should extend the life of this administration because of insecurity? Whatever it is, let's have the change. Let them go.
Well, how safe will it be for voters to actually, come out to vote?
It's election time. The politicians, an imam in Abuja said this and he was booted out. Thank God I don't belong to any mosque. I'm not an imam. They will ensure security, and you'll see. Because what they are concerned about is our elections. Some are going, some are coming in. Some are swapping positions. Some ministers are going back to states. Some governors are coming back to Abuja. They will release the money. They will mobilize the security forces. Even if they need foreign help, they will acquire it to ensure that we have a smooth transition. They say statements bother about the country, but our Nigerian politicians bother about the next round of elections. So that is it. You'll see it.
Okay. So, still talking insecurity, where are we on, the repentant Boko Haram? Because there's a report that says the rehabilitation of these repentants, is not yielding results, and this is actually attributed to the NSA.
So, what is he doing about it?
Exactly.
More Boko Haram are surrendering in their hundreds. And my problem with the whole system is this. Yes, they are Nigerians. They are humans. To err is human, to forgive is divine. If, for instance, now Sheikh, for instance, one al-Barnawi, after massacre leading operation that led to the killings of hundreds, children, women, the age, they should be prosecuted. Nothing else. I'm not saying that non-combat Boko Haram members, maybe their family members who are forced into the, maybe considered. But those involved in combat operations that lead to the killing, abduction. One of the repentant guys was terrorist was one of the guys that participated in the abduction of the Dapchi girls. So you mean after wasting the lives of those young ladies, abuse them, fathered unnecessary kids with them, then now you say that you have repented? No, you should be prosecuted. Abduction, we have laws for that. Abduction, rape, forceful pregnancy. All these things, the laws are there. Let them die in prison. Or if it is established they have participated in a combat operation, or even been membership of a terrorist organization, we have laws to deal with that. You can't just lump them and say that, okay, now they have been repented, now they are good men out of you. No. Even if they surrender, our security agencies should do that. There should be adequate security profiling. It's very easy to know who participated in the combat or not. Yeah, there are women and whatever you may, provided that they didn't participate in the combat operations. Maybe some were being forced against their will to be with them. It's understandable. But you can't just, now they have seen that, okay, the military have depleted them out of you. Now they're saying that they're surrendered. Like that, there was one guy that came with one deputy or chick boy girl. She came with about 3 kids. The guy, she abduction, rape, forceful marriage, wasting her time, and He should go to prison at least. Maybe 50 years or 100 days.
That's a whole lifetime. Well, we're also seeing, some political stories making headway on our dailies this morning with regards to zoning. Like the one here on the Daily Trust newspaper that says 43 days to INEC's deadline, APC, PDP in hide and seek over zoning. And then a ruling party chieftain is saying opposition parties' decision will determine theirs.
Yes, that is it. And you know my position on this zoning. Is zoning democratic? The APC in particular, for instance, is a very dicey thing. With all this insecurity, economic problems, and what if you know, they are being careful, they are being cautious, they are treading with extreme caution. Let's assume now you zone, let's say, the position to, let's say, southeast. Is that enough? Southeast is just one of the less numerical, when it comes to numerical power, of the 6 zones. What are you doing? Are the other 5 zones in tune with what you're doing? You can't just zone just to fulfill some newspaper, TV, or the righteousness. No. You have to pick a candidate with national acceptability. Look at what PDP did. Take 1998. Yes, you remember there was an element of Jintor by the IBB administration and regime, the Nadeko, whatever, the Abacha, what if the country was on edge. The PDP, that in 1998, they said, okay, let's power shift to the south to compensate the Abiola's victory or so. Even in the south, the macro zone into southwest, because Abiola was from the southwest. And the Nadeko agitations and the violence were from the southwest, majorly. Then, even in the southwest, they didn't just leave it that way. They picked 3 people. Obasanjo, who was serving a term for prison, coup attempt or what have you. Olufale, a former secretary to the government of the Federation, a finance minister. Then Bola Ige, SN. They pick these 3 people. They look at them one after the other. Yes, Bola Ige has the capacity, the competence to be president. But he has the acceptability in the southwest, maybe as the other parts of it. But what is rated in the other part of the country, and particularly the northwest, northeast? So no, he has almost less than 10% acceptability. They dropped him. What about Olufale? He's an economist. He was finance minister. He was secretary to the government of the Federation. He has all the clout and competence. But to look at it outside the southwest and the south, how will people look at him? You look at him, he's related to all this regional agitation. That was why Obasanjo was in prison. They brought him out. Yes, he's from the southwest. He's in prison. But he has a national outlook. They brought him from prison, granted him amnesty, dusted him off, bankrolled him, and they made him president. So it's the same thing. Like now, the APC cannot just bring one Umahi from Ebonyi simply because they want to zone that into the southeast. No. Will he be voted for in the northwest? The region with the highest votes? What happened to the north is not central. Or PDP now, they will say, yes, we have to do zoning because people are shouting on the media. Then they will go and bring Wike. Apart from Rivers, can Wike even deliver south? Let's be realistic. Can he win election in the north? So they have to be circumspect in this aspect. It is beyond sentiment. Like one of the governors said, in the PDP in particular, you say it is not about zoning. You may be like some hunters. We saw a hunter story now. Hunters are going on a hunting expedition. Before killing a rabbit, they sat down here, you know, we are battling, drawing swords and weapons over how to shear the rabbit they will kill. That's what they are doing. Win the
Fight first.
first. When you have an elephant, it's enough for everybody. You can share it. You can bring the sharing formula. But you haven't even killed a rabbit yet. And now you are drawing, these people are saying, no, give me the head, I want to be. That's what is happening.
So at the end of the day, what do you foresee the decision of these parties will be?
It will be open. Meaning, because they don't want to shut themselves in the foot. They will make it open, majority of them. That's what PDP will certainly do. Because it will be suicidal. It will be amount to political kamikaze if they send it back. Let's say now, okay, to the south. We have 3 regions in the south. What happens? Are you saying that, okay, because simply Igbos we are not, have never produced president, so we just bring Umahi, for instance, or one Okorocha? Or simply because South, we bring one Wiki? No. You have to look at somebody that can, and you know, yes, they even do primaries. But even at primaries, you can't just allow anybody to emerge. There are certain candidates, but by the time you produce them, by midday, their fate is sealed on the election day. You don't need a clairvoyant to tell you. So that's the reality. And again, the concern of Nigerians should be who has the capacity. Simply because you want to win election, simply because you want to fulfill some political righteousness, that you just bring one Umahi that hasn't done anything, or one Ozodima, or one Wike. No. Let's look at somebody that Nigeria is in a serious mess. Let's look at somebody that has the capacity, that can rally people around. We don't want an ethnic jingoist. We don't want a religious irredentist. We already have enough problem. We don't want a fanatic to come and further inflame the situation. We don't want somebody that will just come and say the only people he knows are the people from his village. We want somebody that can galvanize everybody. We want somebody that Zainab can trust, that she can trust, I can trust, my mother in the village can trust. The lady saying my plantain in Lagos can trust. Yes, we have a leader. And we want a leader that can see Nigeria as a country. We want a leader that will see the country as its constituency, not PDP or APC. So that's what we should canvass for. But this zoning thing, in 1990, we did zoning because of some realities of that time. We should move on.
Okay.
Like I said, there are certain states. Why is it that there is no zoning in Benue? And Idoma man can be president of Nigeria, but never governor of Benue State.
It's tragic.
That is it, because of their poor numerical power.
Okay, now still in line with, the presidential aspirants, what you're saying, what's your take on the First Lady having dinner with the PDP and APC
Without phones.
aspirants?
Leave your phones at home.
So, if I say anything now, they'll say affirmative, whatever, all the uncles are ladies, so I don't know where Her Excellency draws her powers. Yes, that is it. And I don't know when she becomes that politician, that she will summon, even don't come with your phone, Sabi?
Yes.
It's funny, but let's see, who will even go? Maybe they know there are some, when people are talking about zoning, we have more than 30 political parties, and they all fill up candidates, right? Maybe all those you see that they are the owners of the party. It's a briefcase political party. And they are the only people, they are the chairman, the secretary, the NWC, the neck of the party, and they have been contesting for the presidency in the last 24 years. Maybe they will attend to eat the food there. But I don't see it as, and I'm surprised that even the president will allow that. But let's see whether the PDP aspirant will go. Or even in the APC. Let me see whether Tinubu will go and sit down with the vice president. Or even the vice president will go.
So do you see this as an iftar dinner or a political dinner?
What is the mandate of the first lady? Sorry, you are the more gender activist. I want to feel. What is her role in the Constitution? The president said that there won't be office for the first lady in the first place. During the first time we called her wife the president, but now she's the first lady. She can even summon all aspirants. I'm afraid that maybe somebody will even go to court that she's overstepping her bounds. It's unnecessary. Unfortunately, so many things that are not cozy which are happening. The last 7 days, 3 remarkable events, I don't want to qualify them, happened. The president, who was elected based on his credentials, fighting corruption, pardoned 2 convicted money launderers, Joshua Darie and Reverend Joel Nyame. They were convicted by the Supreme Court. They're serving time. So when I saw it, I said, okay, maybe Carrie and this upper Carrie guy, let him calm down a bit. Let his wife stop that drama of feigning the courtroom. He will be convicted, and after the election,
released.
There will be Council of State, and he will be pardoned. After that, then we saw the APC selling forms, 100 million. APC. The #1 program is fighting corruption. So now then I want to contest for governor of our state now 50 million. So if I have 100 million, I won't contest for anything. How are we going to do business? So you spend all this, and it's just maybe, this is 2% of the expenses of APC. Now the first lady is summoning all presidential candidates. It came with another problem because I saw her aides explaining why they should not come with their funds. Is that necessary? It's part of the disorganization we have. There is a standard protocol in the villa. If you are coming, you surrender your funds. There are certain exceptions. The vice president won't because they're occupant of the place. But they created another unnecessary problem. We are battling insurgency. People cannot still go to Kaduna. It's Salah now.
Yes.
People are still there. How are they going to fly to Kano? Even going to Kaduna now, no train, no no flights, and the roads. They are telling us that less than 3 hours after the IG left the road with more than 100 armed men, kidnappers struck. They took away more than 20-something people.
Quite sad.
So let them not bother us with all this, their
dinner.
Whatever. Salah is coming and people are even, is it going to spend it in Abuja? Those who living with their family in Abuja is even okay. But your family is somewhere else. But you are counting, pray. Maybe you have to enter seclusion for 7 days before you start plying the road.
Okay. Now, before we quickly wrap up this segment. Now, we are seeing that a lot of people had anticipated, anticipating to go for Hajj 2022 finally. And then we're seeing that the fee is quite huge, 2.5 million from 900,000, a millionaire, and now we're seeing 2.5 million. And Rivers and Bayelsa, Imo, and Akwa Ibom are even exempted, from the states that have been,
not exempted. No, but Rivers do have pilgrims. They do. I don't know, maybe it's
No slots.
Oversight, yeah. I think maybe, but they do have pilgrims. In the south, most of the states are lumped because of, the realities. There are no more pilgrims there. And some of the southern states, particularly in the south and southeast, in the last couple of years, the government has stopped sponsoring people. So you'll have even a zero pilgrim, you understand? Or some go to other states. But it's the reality. It won't be even 2.5, it will be more than that. Look at it this way. In 2019, the exchange rate was 306 or so. And like the chairman of NAHCON said, 97% of the Hajj fare is dollarized. The only thing they charge in Naira is, I think there's one administrative fee, that bag that they give pilgrims, and maybe uniform. Airfare, $1. The feeding, the transport, Mecca, Mina, Arafah, Muzdalifah, Mecca, Medina, Jeddah, the Mashair, the real Hajj, the 4 days or 5 days in Mina, the tents there, the food you eat, the air conditioning, the Arafah, they're only $1. So in the price did not remarkably change yet. Yes, it is the value of your currency that is tumbling uncontrollably. The dollar was 306 at that time. So let's assume that Hajj fare is $1,000. Let's take this. So in 2019, if it is $1,000, what was the exchange rate? 306. That will be like how much? I'm a very poor in mathematics. You understand? So now, the Hajj fare is still $1,000. But you need to get 415 at the official rate to pay for it. Because Dacia is paying from her pocket, you are paying for it. You have to source the dollar from the black market. So for you, the exchange rate now it should be what? If you pay 360,000 for the fare, which was 1,000 in 2009, now you are paying 590,000.
All right, we would actually have to stop you there. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much.